Hey everybody, it's David Pingree for Racer X Online. We're out today at Milestone with a really cool project. I've got Dane Rouse here and his brother Brent that bought this 1995 Honda CR125 off Craigslist. This thing was in pretty rough shape. We'll let him tell you a little bit about it, but they've gone through this thing, tore it down to the frame, split the engine apart, and completely rebuilt this from the ground up. Back in 95, Dane here was like 4 years old.
4 years old.
But this was my heyday, and so I remember guys like Chad Pedersen riding this, Brian Deegan, and this was a really good privateer machine back in the day. This was a great platform to race on. So it's neat for me to, the older guys to look back and see one of these built up again, and for Dane, he just likes kind of the old school, the retro thing. So cool mix here. So Dane, tell us a little bit about, first of all, how you found it.
Well, I actually found it on Craigslist about a month before I bought it from someone else. He wanted way too much money. Come to find out, it was back on Craigslist, blowing up, sitting in the backyard of some guy's house, open for the rain, and I ended up getting it for $300. Went ahead, literally ripped it all the way down, bare frame. Started out with, first thing, sandblast the frame, make sure it checked for all the cracks. It's 23 years old. Put all brand new Pivot Works bearings in it, all balls bearings, the whole 9 yards. Powder coated nice shiny red, and yeah, the motor we took and dropped off at Varner Motorsports, and he took ahead and put a hot rod crank and a Vertex 144 piston in here to match it up with his port and polish work. It's running off straight 4.4 right now, and she is a screamer. Match it up with the power plant. We have Electron Carb was nice enough to donate a carburetor to us. Along with Boysen, they donated some reeds and some covers. The power plant on this thing is actually really nice, and it's a screamer. Then, going into the little odds and ends, we have Moto seat dressed up with a brand new seat cover and foam. Magic Graphics by far did the best job at a retro kit that I've ever seen. Up to the suspension, I have 2003 front end on here, so it's a 03 CR125 forks. And I happen to work at a company called 2Tech down in Torrance, California. And big thanks to the guys over there, Rick Johnson and Brad, for helping me get a bike that's going to not only ride fast, but handle really well. Gaffler lined us up with some rotors and some brake lines. And Faster USA did all my Cerakoting on the master cylinders, the hubs. So, it's a really pretty looking bike. FMF was nice enough to make the crispy sound come true for us. And then lining those rims up with some Vertex or some XL rims and some High Point tires. And yeah, Mika Metals donated the handlebars, chains, sprockets, grips. DT1, their sister company, helped out with the air filter. And I know I'm missing stuff, but there's just so much.
I know a big part of this too is lines and cables and things like that. So because those, as they get old, don't work, and that can be a safety issue.
Oh, exactly. And All Balls was nice enough to donate all their cables and everything that they could donate for this bike. Another big one I forgot was Hinson Clutch. Even though you can't see it down there's a full Hinson Clutch behind that. And we really appreciate it, and we thank that, because the original one was pretty bad.
And you guys, have you had much time on this bike so far?
We've ridden it 2 laps, and then I rode it 1 lap around the NASCAR track this last Sunday. So she's pretty fresh and pretty new, and it's as new as it's going to get for 23 years old.
Yeah, it's interesting to take look at the bikes, the way they look, how big these number plates are. These things are like big old barn doors, and they definitely had a different shape to them, and they have a smaller feel. I've noticed.
They do feel a lot smaller.
The cockpit is like, much more compact, and you sit into a pocket rather than up on top.
Exactly, and it's I think it gives it more of a rider-friendly feel, and like nowadays bikes feel big and heavy, and like you said, this one feels tight and compact, and it actually rides really well.
Yeah, something that we've done old projects on 92s and early 2000 bikes, 2-strokes, And you do notice that where the bike feels just like it'll turn really quickly. You can just stand on the pegs and make it dart left or right really easily versus bigger bikes now. And I know it's 4-stroke, so it's kind of apples to oranges, but just even the feel of the bike, it was unique back then and sometimes almost better.
Yeah. And like I currently love the older 2-strokes, and like I said, I bought a 91 CR250, and I'm hoping to do about the same thing to it.
So one of the things I did notice on here, like you mentioned, the Cerakote, and we've had the guys at Faster USA or W do that. Faster USA did these, but you also did like the calipers and some other parts and pieces. That came out really cool.
Yeah, all the master cylinders and the calipers were all coated the same color, so it gives it a look like a factory look, something nice and blingy. You don't see them every day.
And they can do that on anything, right? He could do triple clamps, any metal pieces, right?
Pretty much anything. Cases, engine cases, cylinders, they can do it all. As long as they're metal, call them up. They'll Cerakote it.
That's cool. Thanks to the Faster USA guys for that. And I just want to thank you guys for bringing this out. Your brother's gonna, he's been burning some laps on it today for us. And I think for guys that grew up in this era like myself, it's fun to hear the sound of it, fun to watch this bike go fast again, and some nostalgia mixed with some actually really cool looking modern new products and parts. So thanks a lot for you guys' work on this.
Thank you guys. Hey, and I would like to thank David Pingree, Jay Clark, and everyone that helped put this all together for us, and hope you like it.
All right, thanks for watching, guys.